Good morning, afternoon, and evening, and welcome to Starline Tarot. I've already done a bit of a pre-shuffle, so we're just going to cut the cards. But just letting you know, I will be doing live stream readings in the future, as well as if you wish like for any personal readings, donations are always accepted. Let's see. Uh, let's see. Top of the deck is the Ace of Discs. So a new financial or some sort of physical project forward. Crossing it is the Four of Cups. So we already are dealing with an energy of somebody who is kind of sitting on their, or just kind of like just taking their time trying to nurture whatever it is. This is a more smaller issue, it seems like. Using the Four of Swords here, meditating on it. So yeah, meditation energy definitely then. Trying to get trying to call upon outside guidance, or outside guidance is watching you as you are in this meditative energy that you need to be in right now. Here with the Princess of Swords, with the new truth in mind here. See, this is something always with this deck. It's always some sort of new truth, always something new developing with people, which I love. And then here with the Five of Wands is trying to put something together here. In the recent past, trying to put something together, trying to put all the pieces together. Here within in the recent past with the Five of Wands, here in the near future is kind of like finding the middle road. Not really facing an illusion. I definitely get more intuition, especially with the Four of Cups here, and you already in this meditation energy and your best possible outcomes. Tuning into that intuitive energy. Looking past yourself, looking for higher guidance. Right, because here with the Seven of Discs, you have something growing, but it's not at its full capacity yet. It's something that's still in the creation process. It's still developing. Just as the woman here is pregnant and she's still developing her child, the roots are also still under development. Nothing really sprouting yet, but something is definitely growing. And here with the Five of Cups, we have that emotional, I would like to say that emotional heaviness of letting something go. She sits there with all these eyes on, what feels like with all these eyes on her, but with this overflowing amount of, emotion. She sits in her bathtub, she holds herself as she looks at herself and everything else around her. Everyone's crying. She's like, it definitely feels like a heart-torn energy here. Very similar to, well, it's not like complete, utter, like heart-shattered heartbreak like the Three of Swords, but it's definitely like that heaviness of like, I spilled all this, this, like it's messy. It's still a very messy energy. Here with the King of Swords, we have the energy of someone who, however, in their hopes and fears of looking to be very in their energy, very of their logic. I'd like to think very in their person. At least that's what the hope is to find that centered ground with yourself. And lastly, here in the Outcomes card is the Eight of Cups, which is the energy of walking away. So maybe it's trying to find the inner strength in walking away, looking for the inner strength in like trying to dig deep in what it is that you're trying to achieve. Because what it definitely feels as if like you're trying to find that stability in yourself to be in this King of Swords energy so that you can walk away or look for something bigger. Because we already spoke about Spirit being here with you and you walking a higher path already. So, keep that in mind as we continue. All right, we're going to pull out the next cards. All right. Next up is the Ten of Pentacles. So adding to the Ace of Discs, this is the start of something from something that's already developed. So let's see here. Yeah, that doesn't look like the Ten of Pentacles right here. Something that's already been developed, adding it to, the bigger home, like a project that's added to like the bigger home overall. Let's see what else is happening here. Yeah, and learning how to balance that with the with justice here, with the Four of Cups. Learning how to balance that place of, looking from detaching yourself, it feels like, versus looking at what you have in front of you. Because it may look small right now, but that's because it's just not as developed as you want it to be at the moment. We are people of instant gratification, so just be aware that sometimes you might look for something to be starting up right now, and it just takes time to develop. Here with the Four of Swords, I have the Nine of Cups. So it's once again that energy of, oh, we are trying to rest so that we can find our highest place. We're trying to use our resting period as a point so that we can find our highest good, so that we can stabilize ourselves, so that we can be able to get to our wish fulfillment. Yeah, because here with the Princess of Cups, using that energy of the Four of Swords in resting and the relaxation, and that being the you in the position, is already showing that, hey, you were already, this is a new thing for you, and that it may take time to develop. Like the rest and relaxation and all that may be something hard for you to do. And if that's the case, it's okay to take your time in developing that for yourself, only because it's, how should I put it? It's time for you to be okay with the amount of time it's going to take for you to be able to find that sense of balance. So if you start to fall behind it in some ways, just know that that's just part of how it works, especially with anything new. Here with the Five of Wands, we have the Moon. So we already have, once again, that intuition energy of you already placing that mindset of, oh, I need to put something together here. I need to be able to work something around this. I need to be able to actually have a formation with how I want to heal, with how I want to rest, because then it's not going to fall apart on me. All right, next up, yeah, with the Moon here with the Six of Pentacles, is once again that balancing act. And they need you to realize that this is going to be you trying to learn how to take the middle road with yourself. You can't be leaning into one extreme or the other. It has to be balanced. You need to have an equal give and take with yourself, because you, once again, you're not trying to overextend your boundaries. You're trying to keep yourself going along so that you can keep yourself sustained, so you can rest for the moment. Yeah, because you're guarded and defensive about this. You're guarded and defensive about what hasn't been created yet. Because you're like, oh, well, this hasn't been done yet. This didn't do this yet. You have these unrealistic expectations with how you need to balance it. And this might be part of this balancing act they need you to look at, is between your wish fulfillment and your burdens here. So that when you're being guarded and defensive, you're not so guarded and defensive you don't realize the bigger goal at hand. And so you get afraid of taking risks. Because you still need to take risks every now and then. Yeah, and this truth that's connected to your Five of Cups here, of, you feeling like you need to push past this in a sense, taking what you have and dumping the rest away. You might have had to break a couple connections, a couple spiritual connections of your own because of this. Whatever this truth was, so that you could make room, so that you could be able to develop. Yeah, because here's the thing, death was called with the King of Swords. And that is interesting with the King of Swords here, and your hopes and fears, because he's the one who reaps. He's the one who he is also a version of death in a sense, because he's the one with the sword. So, he's the one who, as quick as his wit is his sword. I definitely say that this is like I like to think this is like a very Tony Stark-esque energy in a sense. But yeah. Yeah, because you're walking away for your happiness. And that's what this is all about, is for you to find your ultimate happiness. Literally. Like, throughout this entire thing, we're finding out we have the moon from this, like, supposed illusion, like, energy into the sun and your outcomes. So we're here already on the development train of, we're here for happiness. If that's the case, let's look into the self-care book. I'm kind of curious. What self-care message do we have today so we can continue to hold on to this balance so that we can be able to continue? Look here, Justice here. Justice with her scales. That's there, by the way, just letting you know. Oop, went throughout. Be still. Oh, number 4. Here. Stillness is an anchor that returns us to ourselves and our true path. It is not a distancing ourselves from our daily activities, but a deepening of our relationship to them. Schedule time to rest in stillness. Create a cozy environment for this practice. If necessary, be sure to communicate with the people around you so they understand your need to be free from interruptions. Notice how much time in stillness feels nourishing for you. Even 5 minutes can have a significant impact on your mental state. Reflect on how the stillness makes you feel. Journal about your thoughts and emotions and before and after the experience so you can see how it helps shift your mindset. Consider how more stillness on your regular, ideally daily basis could be supportive of your overall self-care practice. Journal prompt. Take 2 minutes to be still. What thoughts and feelings arise? All right. Next, let's grab. Let's do this one. I think it's the Build Your Own Magic. Sundress. Do it for you. Okay. When it comes to healing and recovery, make sure you're doing it for yourself, not for somebody else. Becoming too dependent on other people will only end in disappointment. People leave, friends drift, family members become estranged. Your reasons need to be bigger than them. And believe it or not, you are important enough to be that reason. Okay. And let's see. Got one more. Let's do the sweet ass affirmations. Oops. I am a contagious fireball of laughter and joy everywhere I go. The human experience should be full of smiles and laughter. Our laughter to work ratio needs attention. Besides the tickle monster, one way to pull out of a funk is to push yourself into a self-contagious laugh. Stand up with your hands on your hips and force yourself to start laughing. It'll feel awkward because you aren't happy and nothing is funny, but the obnoxious fake laugh will domino into a rampage of contagious real laughs. When you start laughing more, The lighthearted energy transfers to those around you. It increases the beauty of their moods too. Each day, if you can make one person smile or laugh so hard they can tinkle in their undies, your day is not wasted. Alright. But yeah, definitely what this feels like is the reading about you guys finding that sense of self, finding a sense of rest. Be still. We had the Four of Swords twice. Be still. It's okay to take some time for yourself so that you can be able to recuperate and be able to, rebalance yourself so that it's not so difficult for you to get into that transformative energy. That's why they need to do the balancing act. That's why the Justice was there. That's why we have the Six of Pentacles there. Once again, balancing between your wish fulfillment and being guarded defensive. Bringing back the Nine of Cups with the Nine of Rods. Moon, the sun, a lot of duality energy. Keep that in mind. Once again, a lot of duality energy, so be mindful of that. So, with that being said, I appreciate your time, and I hope to see you here for the next reading. See you later.